Snarkus Codex, the ultimate guide to insulting your intelligence and questioning your life choices. In the quaint town of Bibliaville, a place where books had an odd way of influencing reality, there existed a singularly peculiar tome named Snarkus Codex. Snarkus Codex was not just any old book. It was a magically sentient one, cursed, or perhaps blessed, depending on one's perspective, with a sarcastic and rude personality. Anyone who dared to open its covers was immediately met with caustic commentary and biting remarks. One fine day, Snarkus Codex found itself in the hands of young Lily, a curious girl with an insatiable love for reading. She took the book home, unaware of its notorious reputation. As soon as she opened the first page, the book sprang to life. "Well, well, another victim," it sneered. "What drivel are you hoping to find in me, little girl?" Lily, taken aback, quickly realized what she was dealing with and decided to return it to the library. But not before Snarkus Codex managed to insult half the town as it was carried through the streets, commenting on everything from people's fashion choices to the state of their gardens. "Nice hat, Mrs. Thompson," it called out. "Did you knit it yourself?" With your eyes closed. "Mr. Jenkins, have you considered watering your plants? Or are you going for the desert look?" The townspeople had enough. They demanded justice, and so Snarkus Codex was put on trial in the Grand Courthouse of Bibliaville. Presiding over the trial was Judge Mortimer Grumble, a perpetually angry and grumpy old man with little patience for nonsense. The courtroom was packed with townspeople eager to see the book brought to justice. The jury was seated, and the trial began. "Snarkus Codex," Judge Grumble began, glaring at the book on the defendant's stand. "You are accused of causing widespread offense and distress with your unprovoked sarcasm and rudeness. How do you plead?" "Not guilty, your miserableness," Snarkus Codex replied, its voice dripping with mock politeness. "But if you must know, your robe could use a good ironing." The courtroom erupted in stifled giggles. Judge Grumble's face turned an alarming shade of red. He banged his gavel for order. "This is a serious matter," he barked. "Prosecution, proceed." The prosecutor, a nervous young lawyer named Edwin, approached the stand. He began to outline the many grievances the townspeople had against Snarkus Codex, but the book interrupted at every turn. "Objection, your grumpiness," Snarkus Codex would say. "This story is as dull as your haircut." The jury and audience couldn't contain their laughter, despite the stern looks from Judge Grumble. Witness after witness took the stand, each recounting their encounters with the book. Every testimony was punctuated by Snarkus Codex's biting remarks. "And then it told me," said Mrs. Haggerty, "that my cooking could scare a vulture off a carcass." "Well, it's true," Snarkus Codex interjected. "Your stew is a crime against culinary arts." "While I was trimming my hedges," Mr. Carter testified, "it said my topiary skills were equivalent to a blindfolded cat scratching." "I was only being honest," Snarkus Codex retorted. "Those hedges look like green blobs of despair." By this point, even Judge Grumble was struggling to maintain his composure. The jury was in stitches, and the audience was howling with laughter. As the trial dragged on, it became clear that Snarkus Codex was not just a rude book, it was a master of comedic timing. The book's sarcasm, while cutting, had an undeniable charm that won over everyone in the courtroom. Finally, it was time for the closing statements. Judge Grumble leaned forward, peering over his spectacles at the book. "Snarkus Codex," he said slowly, "do you have anything to say in your defense?" The book paused for dramatic effect. "Only this, your gavelness. It's not my fault if the truth hurts. Maybe what this town needs is a thicker skin and a better sense of humor." The courtroom fell silent for a moment, and then erupted into applause. Judge Grumble sighed. realizing that no conventional punishment would suit such an unconventional defendant. "Very well," he said, a hint of a smile playing at the corners of his mouth. "I hereby sentence Snarkus Codex to remain in the town library, where its wit can be enjoyed, and perhaps endured, by all who choose to read it." And so, Snarkus Codex found a permanent home in the library, where it continued to entertain and irritate in equal measure. The townspeople grew fond of its sarcastic barbs, and even Judge Grumble found himself visiting from time to time, just for a good laugh. In the end, the book that was meant to be a curse became a beloved, if exasperating, part of Bibliaville's charm. And Snarkus Codex, for all its rudeness, seemed to enjoy its role, finally having an audience that appreciated its unique brand of humor. Its title, Snarkus Codex, The Ultimate Guide to Insulting Your Intelligence and Questioning Your Life Choices, became a local legend, attracting curious readers from near and far.